Mr. Fitzpatrick.
Thank you, Chairman Smith, for holding this hearing. It is deeply troubling that we are once again having a hearing to discuss the rise in anti-Semitism across our nation's college campuses. And since our hearing in November, we've seen repeated acts of violence, the development of illegal encampments, and a continued lack of accountability being upheld by so many quote-unquote elite institutions. The rhetoric and actions of students, largely in support of Hamas and in opposition to the ideals of democracy and freedom, have drawn the admiring attention and support of America's enemies. This includes Ali Khamenei, the supreme leader of Iran, the world's leading state sponsor of terrorism. Iran has long funded terror groups across the Middle East, including Hamas and including Hezbollah. And on May 29th, Khamenei tweeted, "Dear university students in the United States of America, you are standing on the right side of history." This example from the world's leader of state-sponsored terrorism underscores the threat we face, not only from our enemies seeking to take advantage, but even from within our own nation. I want to start with Professor Davidi. Can you speak to the shift you've seen within our universities to having so many outspoken students be comfortable with their alignment to an autocratic leader who is actively desiring the downfall of these very institutions that they are attending, that they're protesting at, and also wishing physical harm to Americans?
Thank you for this question. I'm really happy to talk about this. We're focused here on anti-Semitism and support for terrorism, but at the heart of it, you can see that this is about anti-Americanism. Just a few examples. Students for Justice in Palestine, the national organization, if you go on their website, it does not acknowledge the United States. It says that they have over 200 chapters across Turtle Island, and then in parentheses it says occupied North America, occupied United States and Canada. We had a professor, Hamid Abishi, described Israel, and I quote, as an outpost of American barbarism. This is a professor at Columbia. We had students celebrating the Houthis, right, the terrorist organization that executes gay men just for being gay, and who this morning shot down a merchant ship, a commercial merchant ship. So it really is an anti-American sentiment that is, like smarter people have said before me, it always starts with the Jews, it never ends with the Jews. And I think the best way to see that is, where do you see American flags? When the pro-Israeli groups rally, you see Israeli flags and American flags. When you see an American flag in these pro-Hamas protests, it's only when it's being burned.
Thank you, sir. I want to quickly move now to discuss school accountability. It's been very troubling to see the reports of faculty groups forming in the mold of Students for Justice in Palestine. And in some instances, these faculty for Justice in Palestine groups are taking part in anti-Semitic efforts of their student counterparts. For example, at the University of Pennsylvania, my own backyard, in Philadelphia, a chapter of FJP blocked the main entrance to an administrative building during a quote-unquote die-in protest, which was a violation of campus policy at that time. I want to ask both Mr. Marcus and Ms. Dror, based on your experiences in this space and familiarity with these campus groups, what actions do you believe school administrators should be taking to address specifically the faculty issue? And have you, Ms. Dror, in your experiences, have you seen instances at Cornell not actively enforcing their stated policies?
Absolutely. I can think of at least 3 different instances in which faculty canceled classes. So students paying for their tuition were denied the right to their education in the name of Palestinian liberation and supporting the encampment. The faculty also got together and published an article in Al Jazeera, Qatari state-funded media. Our faculty, I think today actually, published a large letter with about 250 signees that endorsed terrorism and endorsed all the protests on our campus. I think all faculty need to be terminated if they are promoting anti-American beliefs. Russell Rickford, the faculty member mentioned earlier, was hired after having written that he blames Israel for committing 9/11. So there need to be some serious reforms in the hiring processes of these faculties as well.
Thank you. My time's expired, so Mr. Marcus, if you could submit your answer for the record, that'd be great.
Sure.
Mr. Chairman, I yield back.